ready? You ready for your daily dose? Your daily dose of radio rehab?
I think so.
Yeah, because, we need them. We all need those strategies. So strategies for living.
We could all certainly use them.
From time to time, I think every single one of us can. And folks, thank you. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for tuning in here to 1017 FM and 710 Keel. Thank you for tuning in to Strategies for Living. I'm Dr. David McMillan, and she is psychotherapist PLPC Lauren Leon McMillan. Just over there enjoying life.
Absolutely, I am.
Yeah, but it's hot. Not everybody's. It's hot, and not everybody's enjoying life.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
I think we've all had our ups and downs, and
I think that's.
I for certain have struggled to get to where I am today.
Amen. All of us have.
Yeah.
The deal is, sometimes we get into those places where life just feels meaningless.
Yeah.
And I want to talk a little bit about that this evening.
Okay.
I want to talk about, what do we do? When we get to that point where life feels meaningless, first of all, we need to know we're not alone.
Absolutely.
But what do we do?
It's a timeless question. I mean, it's been asked through the ages.
It has. And, here's the deal. Life is beautiful. I mean, it truly is. But sometimes we feel, you're kind of in a monotonous cycle. And I think that, I don't know, for a lot of us, the hot weather may contribute to that. I don't know.
Yeah, it can definitely suck some energy out if you allow it to, or if you're out in it too much.
And
then just the daily American schedule, if you will, the whole hustle, wake, work, eat, sleep, repeat cycle.
Yeah.
I think can breed some what feels like meaningless.
Yeah, and and we also can absorb messages from other people. We talk about this a lot, about us being energy beings. And everything's energy, we're energy, other people are energy, and we can absorb some unhelpful messages
not just
life.
From people, but from everything we surround ourselves with. And I'm thinking, social media, the news, it doesn't take a lot to look around and you can inspire some hopelessness, if you will.
So we're going to focus on that today. What are some reasons that your life might feel pointless and meaningless? And where do you get lost? And where do you go? What are ways? The most important thing that we're going to do today is talk about some ways to cope, ways to get back on track when your life feels meaningless. Because after all, this is Strategies for Living, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Folks, thank you. Thank you for tuning in to Strategies for Living with us today. Thank you for joining us, and we appreciate our sponsors making it all possible. The Robinson Film Center, and Azalea Cleaners, and Pintail Roofing, and Learning RX, Empress, Cannabis with Love, and the Shreveport Little Theater. Sometimes life feels meaningless. How do we cope? What are some ways to cope when that happens? How do we get back on track? Talking about that today here on Strategies for Living. Come back and join us.
Hi, this is Jay Merle for Pintail Roofing. Let's talk about quality. When you hire Pintail to build your roof, here's what you can expect. Quality and quality control are the most important concerns for us at Pintail. And you need to know that Pintail stands tall with swift and professional performance on any warranty call. This is our most important policy. And remember, we're your neighbors. We'll be here for you for the long haul. Our family's lived here for over 100 years, and we aren't going anywhere. On the commercial side of Pintail's business, our fluid-applied roofing solutions can save thousands of dollars over conventional commercial roofing options. Call Pintail at 226-ROOF for a free inspection of your home or commercial building. That's 226-7663. Pintail Roofing. What's the condition of your roof?
And welcome in. Welcome into 1017 FM and 710 Keel. Welcome into Strategies for Living. I'm David McMillan, and she is Lauren Leon McMillan, PLPC. And, life sometimes feels meaningless and pointless, if you will. We can get lost. I think we can get lost on the search for meaning, search for a meaningful life.
Search for meaning.
Yeah. I mentioned earlier we can absorb some unhelpful messages about what our life ought to be, should be. We get into the should thing, right?
Yeah, right. Well, and then if you do get warped into that vortex of, your life should be this way or it should be that way, sure, you lose all sense of meaning because you're attaching your meaning to multiple different sources that are changing, right? And that are outside of you.
That's a good point. And why are we talking? Why is it so important to talk about meaning? Because, we are, and I don't mean to be negative here at all, but I mean life is difficult. Life is hard, right?
Absolutely.
And that's life.
That's a great truth.
That's
isn't
the
it?
life we live in. So, metaphorically, what is our life preserver? Our life preserver, I would put forth, is meaning. Meaning is a metaphorical life preserver.
Okay.
And so, and maybe that's why when you're worrying about your life being pointless, it feels like drowning, because if your life is devoid of purpose, this may be a bit difficult if this is going on with you, but we would give an invitation to not panic.
No.
The
not at
worst
all.
thing we can do if we're drowning is panic, right?
Absolutely.
So it's from this place. It's an excellent place to step back and reassess. What are you assuming about life's existence, right?
Okay.
And if you're off course, if it feels like you went off course, in terms of quote unquote a societally meaningful life, perhaps you're using, and you touched on this just a second ago, perhaps you're using the wrong measuring stick. Because the measuring stick for meaning needs to come from inside you, not from outside of you. And, meaning, the word itself, how do we define it? What is the definition of meaning?
In other words, we give meaning its meaning.
We
right?
give, yeah. And so, let me tell you what it's not.
Okay.
Meaning is not happiness. Meaning is not success. Meaning is not comfort.
Okay.
And meaning is not health.
Okay. Yeah. And how many times do we and others often attach meaning to those things, right?
That's my point. Yeah, that's my point.
And as we've talked about on previous programs, happiness is not a lasting thing, right?
No.
It's something that you create in bursts, in moments, and it can be an average.
Yep.
And success is so variable. And hopefully, as you grapple with life, you begin to measure success, just like we're talking about meaning,
right,
as something internal rather than a societal expectation like grades or money that
money
you
in
make,
the bank or
stock
the title
value,
you've
right.
attained.
What if, this is one of my favorite rephrases for success, and please take this and kind of chew on it for yourself, for whatever it means to you. Okay. One of my favorites is, maybe, what if I define success by how often I laugh today?
Okay.
What if I define success by what my 5-year-old self would would see in me.
Okay. Yeah,
Right?
yeah. So we've said what meaning is not. I've said what meaning is not. Well, so what is it? Meaning is simply a sense of significance. It's not fame, because even the famous get swallowed up by time. We may be seeing that play out in front of us right now.
Yeah.
I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Please do.
And I don't mean having a big impact on the world, because, I think we misjudge that. Any impact you can have is perhaps tiny
Again.
in the scale of the infinite universe, but remember the butterfly's wings.
That's right.
Yep. That's what's important.
Right.
That there is no, in spite of what we might tell ourselves, there is nobody and nothing is insignificant.
No, or you wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
And I often reframe for people, we get so lost in these large, lofty goals, whether they be career or, a specific outcome, right?
Right.
And it's always way in the future. What if your purpose was smiling at that lady in the grocery store today?
Okay. Yeah. And so you're really approaching something that I think is extremely important, Lauren.
Okay.
So what then is a working definition of meaning, since we're talking about that?
Okay.
Let me pull this out. Okay?
Yeah, I'm
If
listening.
you have been of service to even one other living creature at any point in your life, you have achieved a meaningful life. Let me say that again. If you have been of service to even one other living creature at any point of your life, then you have achieved a meaningful life.
Yeah. And you never know. That's the beauty and perhaps the not so beauty in it, right?
That's maybe
it's
where
a double-edged
faith,
sword.
Yeah, that may be where faith comes in.
Right. You
Yeah.
just never know. I mean, like in the example I used earlier, if you smiled at the woman in the grocery store, perhaps she was having a terrible day.
And you might have turned things around for her.
Big time.
Yeah.
You
And
may
you
have saved her life.
Exactly. And why not, if we're assuming, and we know what assuming can do, right?
Right.
But if we're going to assume, and we do, that's just a human thing, why not assume positive just as easily as negative?
Yeah. Assume the best.
Yeah. So, I guess one of the things that we're doing to set up what we're talking about today, it's an invitation for all of us, right? To radically challenge assumptions about a life worth living. That's meaningfulness.
Right.
Again, I don't, if you've been of service at any point in your life to any other living creature, any time in your life, you have a meaning that your life is meaningful.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to play a little, I don't know that it's devil's advocate here, but sort of.
Okay.
Okay. Perhaps these people who are feeling like their life is meaningless. What if they're right?
Okay. Okay. That I don't.
Because hear me out.
Okay.
There are several ancient and modern philosophies, ancient and modern spiritual traditions, which actually are based on the exact premise that life is meaningless.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that you are meaningless in terms of your worth.
Right.
Right?
Your worth and value. I thought where you were going there for a second, and maybe you are, maybe you're going to get there, is when you look at sacred writings, okay?
Yeah.
Where where does creation often come from? It comes from the void.
Nothing.
It comes from nothingness. And so, I think what you're touching on is something that's extremely important. We assume that meaninglessness is quote unquote bad.
No, this is an incredibly hopeful premise.
Yeah.
That life is meaningless, because that means we get to give it the meaning.
We get to define it. We get to create meaning.
Yeah.
It can be a challenge, but it can be a wonderful opportunity, because look around you. We as humans are surrounded by a total ecosystem that is teeming with life, plants, animals, things we can't see.
Yeah, tons of things we can't see.
Microorganisms just too small to see with the naked eye.
And who knows what else we're not seeing?
Yeah, and they're
Between
living. They're
the
living.
energy
They're living in your
fields.
body. They're
Yeah.
living on your skin.
In, through, around.
You yourself, each one of us, is an ecosystem, and we're layered with millions of lives, of which we have no conscious awareness, but they live because we live.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. And so, man.
So are you telling me if at least I need to at least live for the billions of microorganisms in my eyelashes today?
Well, who says that they're not important?
I think they are.
Yeah, I think they are too. So, just some things as we approach this topic on meaninglessness, because we all get there from time to time.
Sure.
How can we?
I'd say it's
how
a
can we
great
cope?
place to begin.
I agree, but it's when we come back, I think since we are strategies for living, right? I think we have to begin to offer some strategies. What are some strategies? What are some ways to cope, if you will, if we get to a point where we feel, my life is meaningless.
What now?
Yeah, what now? First of all, you're not alone.
No, not at all.
But there's some things that you can do. There's some definite things you can do. And we'll unpack those things, and we'll talk about them today right here on Strategies. Come back and join us. Hey, let's talk about the Robinson Film Center, 617 Texas Street, downtown Shreveport. How many times do I say there is no place like Robinson Film Center?
You don't say it enough.
Well, no, I probably don't. And there is no place like the Robinson Film Center. I mean, where do you go to see current movies that you're not going to see anyplace else? Well, Robinson Film Center. Find out what's showing at robinsonfilmcenter.org. And then you've got Abby Singer's Bistro, right? Full-service bistro and bar, second floor of the Robinson.
That's what I can't get enough of.
Oh, man. So, here's what you want to do. You want to join the crowd, join the fun, become a member. You get discounts on movies, you get concession upgrades, you get bistro deals. RFC, 617 Texas Street, downtown Shreveport. RobinsonFilmCenter.org.
Reading begins not in the classroom, but in your child's brain. I'm Donisa Walker with Learning RX Shreveport. If your child struggles to read, maybe he or she has trouble focusing or comprehending, Learning RX Shreveport offers a science solution to reading problems, working one-on-one with your child, targeting his or her reading skills. Today, call Learning RX Shreveport. Make an appointment to have your child assessed. I know you want to help your child, so does Learning RX Shreveport.
And welcome back. Welcome back into 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Welcome back into Strategies for Living. Leon McMillan and David McMillan. We're talking about meaninglessness today. Easy for me to say, right?
Sounds like it.
Yeah. I've practiced.
It's meaningless anyway. So.
Yeah, true. And that's another thing we can do. We can remind ourselves of, in 5 years, who's going to remember this?
Well, right. Right. Yeah. That's the 5 rule, right? I mean, if anybody's going to remember this in 5 minutes, 5 years, 5 months.
Yeah, there you go. Keep going. Keep
Extend it
vibing.
out, yeah.
Keep vibing on me. Hey, folks, welcome back in. Welcome back into 1017 FM 710 Keel and another edition of Strategies for Living, where we're talking about ways to, strategize, ways to cope when your life feels meaningless. And we all get there. We can all get there sometimes. So, but there's a lot of reasons that we can get to that point, right? And it's going to differ from person to person. We can have depression. Mm-hmm. We can have something going on with our mental health. We can have mood issues and problems. Yeah. And, there can also be physical issues. We can feel unfulfilled at work. Mm-hmm. Socially, we may feel unfulfilled, maybe at home in our primary relationships. But, there is help. And so I'd like to think one of the places of help is this radio program.
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too. So what are some strategies to deal with feelings of life being meaningless? Well, one is to live with intention, intentionality.
So, in other words, give it meaning, right?
Yeah, well, I would argue that's part of our job.
Yep.
We are, part of our job
as creators
is to give our life meaning out of this void, right?
Right.
Because when you live with intention, when someone lives with intention, they are recognizing, rethinking,
right,
why you do what you do,
right,
and when you do that, you'll begin to consider each and every aspect of your life,
yes,
to see if it is in alignment with your goals, your vision for your life, if you will.
And one easy way to do this, I think, is to infuse especially those moments of autopilot or monotony. How often do we just hop in the shower and then we hop out, right? And we've done our thing, right?
Yeah.
And I would, or the dishes, or when you wash your hands, right? You don't even think about it anymore.
Yeah.
Or when you're making tea. I would challenge you for those times in particular to reinfuse with intention.
Yeah.
Like, when you get in the shower, really concentrate on the feeling of the water as if you were a kid experiencing the water for the first time.
Yeah.
Take it up a notch even farther and really visualize the water washing away the negativity and the grime from your day or from the night, depending on when you shower, right?
Yep.
And watch it go down the drain.
Yeah, there you go. Even mundane things like eating.
Yes.
We all have to eat, right?
Listen, and how many of us in eating, this has been one of my more recent practices, that's why I got so excited about it, is mindful eating, right?
Yep.
Because I've caught myself in eating, I'll take a bite and already I am scooping up the next bite with my fork.
Yep.
And I'm focused on that. I'm not even paying attention to the wonderful nutrients and flavors that are in my mouth at that moment.
Savoring the taste and the various tastes that I experience as the food moves from one side of my mouth to the other.
Yeah.
And, of course, there's biological reasons. There's all kinds of taste buds on our tongue, right?
Yeah, there's 5.
Yeah, and so, we're going to experience the difference, but to be intentional about that.
Right, and, take it even up. You can take that up another notch and thank the food. If it's plants or animals, you are ingesting a living thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so to thank it for giving its life to help give
help
life
nourish you
and sustain your life.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Another thing that we can consider doing is exploring our own thoughts and feelings.
Oh, absolutely.
As we delve into what do you want, and what What does living intentionally mean to you?
Yeah.
So some questions that might help us. What brings me joy? What really is going to bring me feelings of joy?
Yeah.
What?
What lit you up as a kid?
Yeah.
What
yeah.
could I mean? Because so often this meaninglessness happens as adults when we get stuck in the hubbub of the everyday mundane, and we lose track of the play and the enjoyment that we had as a kid.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
so
we don't need to stop playing.
ever. It
doesn't-
is so important to our overall wellness.
We might have this crazy idea that when I grow up, quote unquote, grow up, whatever that means to you.
Whatever.
When I'm 20, when I'm 30, when I'm 50, I can't possibly play anymore. What do you mean? When I'm 60, when I'm 70, we don't play. Oh, yeah, we do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we can. And it's healthy for us.
It is. It's
very
incredibly
healthy
healthy.
So what are your passions? What are your interests? What would you like to explore more of? Yeah. Curious student, right? Mm-hmm. What drives you? What drives your success? What makes you want to succeed? Mm-hmm. And what does it mean to you? What does that let's play with that a bit.
Yes.
What does success mean to you? It doesn't have to mean what's been given to you from the outside. You get to define it. Each one of us gets to define it from inside of us.
And just playing with the meaning of success to you can really, I believe, shift your insides and awaken you to the power of redefining any and everything in your life.
Yes.
I mean, just take a week, maybe, and redefine success as something different.
Yeah.
Maybe how many times you smiled, or how often you laughed, or anything that you can think of. And
play with it.
Play
with that.
Play.
Yeah.
And practice, at the end of the day, really review, okay, how, based on my new definition, how successful was I today?
There you go. Another strategy, besides intentionality, and we talk about this one. This
was going to be my first one.
Okay. And so it's practicing gratitude.
Yes.
There's a lot of research out there. There was some very good research back in 2017 that suggests that feelings and showing appreciation for what you have, doesn't matter what that is, but showing appreciation for what you have in your life is a way to embrace everything that's good around you. And it can help guide you toward the life of your dreams and help you find a purpose in day-by-day life.
I mean, not only that, if that's not good enough for you, not only that, but it's incredibly healthy on a physical level. I mean, it's been shown to lower blood pressure and heart rate and improve your metabolic rate. I mean, all of those vital signs and measures.
And again, more and more research is done in this area. There was some research in 2022 that said that gratitude writing can help people positively reframe their circumstances. It decreases stress and it improves mood. Now, what do we know about stress? Stress, unchecked, will eventually lead to physical issues.
Oh, yeah, big time.
It'll manifest in some way, shape, or form in your body physically, unless you get a handle on it. So, the research is clear. And this particular research from 2022 suggested gratitude writing, will be a positive help and reframe. So, how do I integrate gratitude into my daily life? Well, you can journal. How many times do we say that?
So many times. And for gratitude, it doesn't have to be that difficult. I would challenge you to start with 3. I would really challenge you to do 5. Every day, write 3 to 5 things that you're grateful for.
Yeah.
And this is something I've done, so I wouldn't ask you to do something I haven't, or I wouldn't do, right? And I can't tell you the power that has in reorienting your life. I mean, at first you start, well, I'm thankful for the dog. I'm thankful for the house, right? The quote unquote little obvious things, right?
Yeah.
And I began to find myself as the days went on and the months went on of this practice, being grateful for what I used to find as frustrations or struggles.
Yeah. There you go.
Right?
There you go.
I mean, I was grateful for a canceled appointment because I got more time for something else that I enjoyed.
There you go.
Right?
When you have those times, when those times come up, that you become aware of something that you're thankful for.
Yeah.
Take some time. Pause. Even for just a few moments, and let yourself feel.
Mm-hmm.
Let yourself feel the gratitude.
Gratitude is an expansive emotion.
Yes.
And it connects us with everything.
Many people who are listening to us pray.
Mm-hmm.
A wonderful thing to do in prayer is to express gratitude. Express gratitude during prayer. Writing, again, before we leave writing, write letters. Write letters to somebody, even if you don't send them.
Right.
Write a letter to someone who's had a positive impact on your life. All of those are ways to practice gratitude. Maybe some ways that we don't think about, but ways nonetheless.
Yeah. And the reason this works for meaninglessness is because you begin to be thankful and recognize the meaning in everything.
Yes.
From the trees to the grass, right?
Absolutely.
To the neighbor, the annoying neighbor, right?
Yeah, you recognize that ecosystem that we all live in and we can all be grateful for. What are the strategies to use when life feels meaningless? We're talking about that today here on Strategies for Living. And we got more strategies to share, so stay with us. More to come. It's been going on for 101 years now. I'm talking about the Shreveport Little Theater. Been enriching our lives through the performing arts and education and opportunities to volunteer service guided by professional artists. They've been at it a long time. And up next, beautiful, the Carole King musical is the summer musical this year. And have you seen the 24-25 season? My goodness. Neil Simon's Brighton Beach memoirs, Steel Magnolias, It's a Wonderful Life, Doubt, I Love You, You're Perfect Now, Change, and then May We All, a new country musical. You need to get your season tickets right now. ShreveportLittleTheater.com. It is American theater at its best at 812 Margaret Place in Shreveport. Shreveport Little Theater. ShreveportLittleTheater.com. And welcome back in. Welcome back into 101.7 FM. 710 Keel. Welcome back into Strategies for Living. PLPC Lauren Leon McMillan, David McMillan, here on Strategies, and we're talking about ways to cope, ways to strategize when your life feels meaningless. We all get there sometimes, but what do we do?
Ways to rediscover some meaning for yourself.
Yeah. So one strategy that we haven't talked about so far is discovery. Discover things that really do uncover new things that give your life meaning. Okay. Actually watching, being watchful for things that bring meaning to your life can actually help you find positive aspects.
Okay.
Sometimes it's the things in the mundane.
Yes, it is.
That bring the most meaning. And that includes things like a beautiful natural sight. You're always running in from outdoors.
I am.
Dragging me out.
Yes.
Showing me this or that.
Yeah.
A lot of times at night, and and I try to get out of my chair.
Yeah, sometimes you're harder to pull out of
Yeah,
it than others, but yes.
but
Come see the moon or the stars.
there you there's so much natural beauty around us.
And that kind of comes back a little bit to gratitude for me, because it's about not taking for granted the physical body that we are in.
Yeah.
Right? And we're not taking for granted the fact that we do see the way that we do, and we can feel and sense in this very particular way. I mean, we know other animals sense very differently.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so it's about really engaging, to discover things that give life meaning. Sometimes it's just the sensations, right? Being able to run your fingers over a really soft blanket, right?
Yeah.
Or if you're lucky enough to go on vacation in the summer, right? Sticking your toes in the sand, right?
Yep. What about real mundane things?
Okay.
Setting your alarm.
Huh.
All right, so setting your alarm at night for waking up in the morning, and setting it a little early to give yourself time, to give yourself adequate time to get ready for the day without feeling rushed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
This is a big one. Yeah.
And so can you infuse meaning into that?
Yeah.
And gratitude into that, right?
Absolutely.
Let me give you another one.
Okay.
Hugging your spouse.
Yes.
Yeah.
That could be a huge one, because
but so many times we hug the people that are around us, particularly, I think, our spouse, right? And we hug because it's routine.
All
right,
we're not in the body.
Right.
We're not feeling it.
But get in your body and really mindfully, give your spouse a big hug, and with the intention of expressing how much you love them, how much you appreciate them.
Really being intentional and in the moment.
Absolutely.
And that's powerful.
It really is.
Another powerful way to reconnect with the moment, if you will, is to imagine that I do this. This is one of my favorite kind of activities. Imagine you're 80 years old, right?
Yep.
And this moment that you're in right now is the last moment you'll get. And this is the last memory you'll ever have.
Yeah.
And live that.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
You know how much I like coffee.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
I love coffee.
I do too.
How about coffee mindfulness? Okay, so what? Coffee mindfulness.
Yeah.
What is that? Well, when you drink your cup of coffee, let yourself be aware. Let yourself tune in to all 5 senses.
Yep.
Your taste, your touch, your sight, the sound. What am I missing?
Smell.
And the smell. Oh, yeah,
you
of
do
course.
smell?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, but and you can do all of that with a cup of coffee.
Absolutely. Or tea.
Or tea, yeah.
You can do that even without anything.
You could do it with even water, right? But so it could be, I like coffee mindfulness because I love coffee.
Well,
but
it provides so many good sensations because it's usually warm and it has a smell and a pungent taste.
Yes.
It's very there.
And you don't have to do it for long, periods of time. Just a brief moment.
Just a brief moment
just a brief
of bringing yourself into the present. And that's where you find meaning.
Absolutely.
Is in the present.
Another strategy to infuse meaning into your life if you're feeling a sense of meaninglessness is focus on your connections, particularly your positive connections. Spending time with positive people is an absolute surefire way to find meaning in your life.
Yeah.
The very best relationships to engage in are the ones with those who offer us positivity, who offer us support.
Who bring you into the world and therefore bring you meaning.
Yeah.
Meaning into your life.
And encourage you along the way on the journey of life. And we all have those. We have those in friends, family, people we go to church with, associates.
I could even say even social media or television can
Absolutely.
be a positive connection.
Yeah, yeah. How about making space for nostalgia, memories, reminiscing with your friends and family?
Yeah.
If you can't do that, what about doing that with music? Listen to music that reminds you of special times. Sometimes you kind of pick at me for how many songs I have in my Spotify,
Yes.
in my list.
Well, it's because you have like 300 on a single playlist.
Oh, way more than that,
Oh,
I
okay.
think.
More
Way more than that.
Yeah.
I've got them packed full of every, I can go to a particular
Yes.
time and listen to a song, and it can evoke a magnitude of
Sure.
emotions and memories and feelings within me. And I think that's important.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Research suggests that nostalgia can increase your sense of belonging and acceptance, even when you're faced with challenges.
Yeah,
in
because
life.
what nostalgia says is I'm grateful for the past that has created where I am now.
Yeah.
I mean, usually that's what nostalgia says.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it can be there can be more sadness or melancholy, but even so, nostalgia on the whole is grateful for where I've been
Yes.
because it's gotten me to where I am now.
I don't want to. Before we leave this, we got to go to break. But before we leave this entirely, I think we would be remiss if we said, okay, if you feel stuck, that might be a good place to consider seeking professional help if you need that.
Please do. There's so much out there for us
Great,
available.
great mental health professionals, great life coaches, but there's a lot of help available to
Yes,
you.
yeah. Just reach out.
Reach out.
Look around.
Yeah, it's there. We're talking about what to do, strategies when life feels meaningless. That's today here on Strategies. We'll be back. You're going to see the difference. When you go to Azalea Cleaners, you'll hear about it too. Azalea Cleaners has been fine dry cleaning since 1958, plus laundry, alterations and repairs, comforters, wedding gown cleaning and restoration. You'll hear about it from your friends because they'll see it too. They'll notice the Azalea difference. Azalea is convenient. 732 Azalea Drive, 9220 Ellerby Road, and 9227 Mansfield Road. Plus, the front door of your home or business with Azalea's delivery on demand. Just text SETUP to 249-8283, and Azalea will pick up your clothes and deliver them back clean and fresh to you. You can't get closer than that. That's the Azalea difference. You'll notice it right away. Others will too. The Azalea difference. Fine dry cleaning since 1958. Text SETUP to 249-8283 and get the Azalea difference. AzaleaCleaners.com. And welcome back. Welcome back into Strategies for Living here on 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Lauren, Leon McMillan, David McMillan. Talking today about what to do, how to cope, what strategies to bring if life feels meaningless. I think it's very, very important. We said before break, Lauren, that, if you can't get out of it, maybe that's a good opportunity, a good time to seek professional help.
Yeah, if you feel meaningless, it's a nudge to seek help to find meaning.
Absolutely. There's also help available 24/7,
Yes.
365 that is completely always available to all of us that have access to a phone. And that's the Suicide Prevention Helpline.
988.
988.
Yes.
So they've made it real easy now.
They have, and I'm excited about it. I think that's a great thing we've done.
Absolutely. You can also, there's a bevy of other numbers, from help with alcohol, help with gambling, help with other things that might be tripping you up. You can Google those. There's a lot of those helplines available.
Yes.
But calling 988 can be an important connect.
Yes,
you
and
know.
they'll connect you with where you need to be.
Absolutely. So, I hope that we've given some ideas this evening here on Strategies for Living. That's the whole idea. The whole idea is to help us all to think and to grow and to stretch.
Yeah,
And, your life has meaning.
well, as long as you make it have meaning.
Yeah.
You get to give it the meaning.
You get to create that. That's one of our big deals. That's
Right.
one of our big things. Thank you, folks. Thank you for tuning in to Strategies for Living. Appreciate you being here with us. We do this each and every day for you. So thank you for coming along, and we appreciate our sponsors that make it possible. The Robinson Film Center and Azalea Cleaners and Pintail Roofing and Learning RX and Hempress Cannabis with Love and the Shreveport Little Theater. If today were the last day of your life, you only had one more phone call that you could make, who would you call? And what would you say? And why are you waiting? Make the call. For Lauren Leon McMillan, I'm David McMillan. See you next time, right here on Strategies for Living.